Our objective is to study the electoral system in South Africa, how it is managed, the system of representation, so that we can go and advise our political parties accordingly. As you know, we're in the middle of writing a new constitution, coming up with new electoral laws, and actually healing after we had the traumatic events of last year after our general elections.
The advice that I would give to my Kenyan counterparts is that they need to continue to work at democracy. Being involved in a multi-party government is good. It has its own challenges, but it is not the ultimate. The best way for democracy to survive is by building strong opposition. No party can run without proper structures and without policy. More than anything else, you need to be able to say to the electorate out there, what is it that you stand for in comparison to those who are your opponents.
The South African electoral system is appropriate to us, firstly because the system of representation seems to be very democratic around political parties, seems to be very, very stable. And the South African electoral system seems to be very well managed. So we wanted to find out what is this magic that makes them manage their elections so well.
The relationship between the IEC and political parties is very good. I think what assists that relationship is that the Electoral Commissions Act provides specifically that the IEC must maintain close liaison with political parties. So we have operationalized that provision in the law by forming what we call party liaison committees. And these committees exist at national, provincial, and municipal levels. And when we don't have an election, we meet our political parties once in 3 months. A year before the election, we meet with them monthly. So because of that, there are no issues that they are not aware of. We don't take them by surprise.
We have learned about this PR system, the proportional representation system, where party lists are used as opposed to parties nominating people who are going to be the face of the party at the grassroots, where parties present their ideologies and people vote for the party. So that makes the process be inclusive, so that voices which would not ordinarily be heard are represented in Parliament and at the regional level and at the local municipal level. That to me I think is very important, because in our country a lot of voices are lost because of the FTP, the fast past the post system. The PR system should be considered very, very seriously so that it is included in the constitution.
South Africa, we have a very liberal, I think we'd like to believe one of the best constitutions in the world, but it wasn't because of something that we just knocked together on our own. We looked around, we got input from elsewhere in the world, and we then looked at forming a document that subscribes to what we believe in as a nation.
We took a copy of the South African Constitution with us back, and I have gone through it. The Bill of Rights is very, very impressive. It covers practically every aspect of how people's rights should be respected by the government.
They should not change their constitution on the basis of other countries' constitution alone. They should study other countries' constitution. They should study how best they can use some of the features of the other countries or South African constitution. But fundamentally, a constitution is supposed to serve the majority of the people of a specific country, however much other countries may want it to be.
I have learned quite a lot. So from this experience, and what we are trying to do at the moment is actually to form what we call party positions. Kenya is undergoing its constitutional reform debate with the harmonized draft constitution being out there in the public as we speak now. So I am going to take a wealth of experience, a wealth of information, and what I have learned. Because what I have realized is that at the moment we are speaking about elections, about devolution of power, rather than how that power is going to be acquired, which is about the electoral system. What we do after here is what is going to influence. And what I have been saying is that as part of CMD Kenya and as representatives of political parties, we will now have to seriously think about ways and strategies which we can utilize in order to lobby the political class in Kenya, as well as the citizenry, in terms of accepting to adopt a particular system of election and election management.